Williams and Tony Giftis.
When the pandemic hit, one of the first moves was to freeze federal student loans.
Today, they're still frozen, and politicians are debating what to do next. You could get caught in a scam in the meantime. Student loans and potential scams are our big story today. Federal student loan payment forbearance is in effect until the end of August. Those loans have not needed to be paid and are not accruing any interest. Despite that, private loans have still been adding interest and requiring payments throughout the pandemic, but only make up between 7 and 10% of the total student debt.
A student debt is still rising in America. The New York Federal Reserve releasing new data on household debt across the country this week. Student debt had the second largest change since the end of last year, going up $14 billion. In total, there's $1.59 trillion of student debt across the country. Because of that extension on the CARES Act forbearances, only 1.05% of those loans are seriously delinquent or over 90 days late.
Wallet Hub has an interesting ratio just to show you how much debt you may be talking here, and it's throughout the country, and you can zoom in on different areas. So if we go to our area and get close enough to Toledo, Perrysburg, you can see the percentile here is 74. Toledo, well, Sylvania's 39. Let's see, almost to Toledo, 4%. What that means basically is we scroll down here and say that's your student loan debt, and you can see very close to the percentile rank of 1 is Ypsilanti, the second column down here, and that is the median student debt would be $29,000. Median earnings of a bachelor's degree holder is $35,000. So you basically even out is what they're saying. 83% of what you make will go toward your student loan. So it's not the ideal ratio. Let's take a closer look at Toledo again. We'll type that into the search engine. And you can see Toledo ranks 4th in the percentile. Median student debt is $25,000. Median earnings, $42,000, with a ratio of student debt to median earnings of just about 60%.
President Biden campaigned on a plan to forgive some student loan debt, but so far hasn't acted on it. Now lawmakers and advocates are pushing him to follow through. The Washington Post reported late last month that the administration was still working on a policy and that it's considering canceling at least $10,000 of student debt. But this would only be for borrowers who make less than $125,000 to $150,000.
Advocates have called on him to eliminate $50,000 in debt. Professors at Princeton say doing that for people making less than $150,000 would wipe out the entire debt burden for 76% of borrowers, while eliminating $10,000 would wipe out the burden for 32%.
Well, scammers, they're taking advantage of the delay, and it could cost you big time. And today I had a chance to speak with a manager from Why Refi. It's a private student loan lender to explain what you need to know.
Cold calls, paperwork, and people who claim they can help take away your debt. It's a growing problem.
We've seen an uptick of individuals that have federal loans being contacted by third parties regarding their student loans, whether they're promising, give me $399 and we will forgive, or send you through a forgiveness process, filling out federal forms such as income-driven repayment programs, especially when we were getting closer to the May deadline and before it actually got moved further, in order to get your payments where they need to be. And the scariest one is a lot of people were on auto debit prior to the CARE Act being implemented and federal loans being stopped. And so people are being contacted about, hey, let's update your bank account information. Unfortunately, a lot of us have not taken a look at who our loan servicer is. We have not taken a look at how much we actually owe, or if our current address, phone number, email is up to date. And so these are some important things we might want to do in case somebody starts calling and asking for personal information that you're uncomfortable in giving.
So how do you find out who is managing your loan?
If you go to studentaid.gov, you can actually see who your loan servicer is. One of the largest loan servicers and multiple loan servicers dropped out in the last 2.5 years, and your loans have moved. Studentaid.gov is great because it's completely secure. You have to log in. And it's a government website, and it'll tell you who your loan servicer is how much you owe, and as well as your personal information. And it's a great place to start in updating your information, even though loans aren't in repayment. And I know it's sitting in the back of our minds, and we're probably avoiding the fact that we might have to go into repayment, but it's really important to have the information in case somebody tries to contact you. Your servicer isn't going to be asking for your personal information. They already have it. And you have to be extremely careful in the information that's being given out. If you've had any of this happen, contact your loan servicer, let them know. Contact your bank, put a fraud alert on your account. That way they have to do an additional security step in case money's being taken out of your account. And definitely contact the bureaus. You can do all of this online or via phone, and just put fraud alerts out there. That way no one can open any of these pieces. But I talked to a gentleman just recently last week who received 43 inbound calls for somebody trying to tell them that they can get their loans forgiven, and they spoofed a large lender's 800 number. So they thought they were legitimate calls coming in.
Bottom line, there's always someone out there trying to get your money, and services to keep your information safe are free.
You just have to be extremely careful right now. And this is also happening with people going into school, filling out the FAFSA form. You don't need people's help to fill out the FAFSA form. Admissions or financial aid can help you for free.